Welcome back everyone, it's Chris here from FunTech Guys, and we're so close to finishing this self-destroying app. So I'm just going to show you quickly where we're up to, and don't need that. So just going to go to localhost, I'm going to put in title, message, submit. It's recognised that we've successfully submitted something to the database, so it's shown us a different message, and we click view message, and we get sent back to the home page. But we now have this ID, so we can go ahead and grab this message. So what I'm going to do is come over to our PHP file where we had our else if, and we can say, right, now we want to, let's just grab the hash. So let's say hash is equal to, because we know it's been set, the HTML entities version of $_get ID. Right, so now we have a version of the hash, and what we want to do is create another statement. So we want to say statement is equal to db prepare, and what do we want to do? We want to select title and message from messages where hash is equal to hash, and let's limit this to 1. Now chances are that the user isn't going to run into multiple, when we generate the hash, it's not going to generate the same hash for anyone, but this is just a little bit of error handling. So now that we've limited it to 1, let's say statement bind param hash is equal to hash. So our hash value, which is in the get, but we've cleaned it up, is now ready to be, we're now ready to select based off that value. So then I'm going to do statement execute, and what I'm going to do here, not like last time where we had a success or a failure, it should always be successful, it should always select, but now we can do a check on the result. So we can say, right, the result is a, actually, we're going to handle the values first. So result is fetch, because we're only fetching one result, otherwise I would use fetch all. So fetch, and I'm going to do PDO fetch underscore assoc. So I'm going to fetch an associative array of our results. So I should see result title, result message. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, like, count is equal to statement row count. Right, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to echo count just to show where we're up to at the moment. So now if I come back over here, so sorry, I think I've gone over that a bit too quick. We know that the ID is set because we've got a conditional here. So we're cleaning it up, and we're declaring that value in our hash. Then we're going selecting the title and the message from our messages table. Do I call it message or messages? Messages table, where the hash is equal to the hash that we've cleaned up, and we're limiting it to 1. We're then binding that parameter to our statement. We're executing that statement, and we're storing the results. We're using fetch because there's only one result, and then we're fetching an associative array. So I could do fetch underscore num here, and then I would use result 1, result 2 for the columns, but I want an associative array. It's better for me and for my eyesight apparently. And then what I'm also doing is I'm doing a count to see how many rows have been affected. So if we have 0, that means nothing has been selected, so there is no message with that ID. If we have a 1, we know that there is a message. So I'm going to save this, come over here, and I'm just going to refresh this page because we've already got our hash, our ID up here, our hash. Refresh, and we've got a 1. So we know that there's a message in the database with this hash. And if I copy this hash, come over here, click browse, find, and I know that that ID is the last ID that got inserted. So come back. Now what we want to do is we want to return those values back to the user. So what I'm going to say is if count, so kind of like what we did earlier with the count or statement up here. So because it was 0, it was false, because if it's 1, it's true. Kind of like down here, true or false. We're just saying if this is true, so if 0 or if 1. So if 1, then what we want to do is we want to return the results. So I'm going to say title is now equal to results title. Actually, you know what? I'm going to var underscore dump, and I'm going to show you the results first. Result. So if we have a count, let's just dump that out onto the page. So refresh. We've got we have a count, and now we have an array. We've got an array of title and message. I'm not selecting the hash because obviously we've already got the hash stored here. Now what I want to say is exactly what we just typed in a second ago. Title is equal to results title. Message is equal to results message. This here, title and message, relates to this. Select title, select message. And this here, select title and message from messages, relates to this. Title, message. Just in case that wasn't clear. And obviously once we've dumped everything out, title and message is obviously the result of this. So now that we've got that dumped out onto the page, those values stored, then we can we can return those to the user. So let's just wrap everything in another conditional. So if I'm going to say is set. Is that the best way of doing it? If is set, yeah, $_get, nice and simple, ID. Now, I know this isn't the cleanest way of doing it, because if we're building like an actual product or app that we're going to really be releasing, we'd probably have its own page to handle this. It's just because I'm doing it all in one page to try and show you just how it all fit together. So get rid of this. I'm just being lazy. Right. So what I've just done then is everything that we had before, I've just wrapped within an if-else statement. So I'm saying if is set $_get ID. So if the hash had been set in the URL, then we want to run one lot of I don't know, actions. Otherwise, we want to run exactly what we had before. That's where we check for success, and if it is successful or isn't successful. So someone sets the hash into the URL, so let's just return a message. So let's just say h1, and for those of you that haven't guessed yet, this right here is a shorthand of just doing this. I should have told you that a little bit earlier, but better late than never, I suppose. Class equals lead. That's just something that comes through from Bootstrap from the file that we pulled in earlier, and I'm just going to say message, and then let's just leave it at that for a second. So what I'm doing is, if it's set the hash, then let's just return the title and the message. So here, otherwise, what I'm going to do is Okay, so we've selected something from the database. We've checked if there's a result. If there's no result, if there is a result, title is equal to those results, message is equal to that result. Else, we could say title is now equal to, I don't know, sorry. Ooh. And message is equal to, it appears that okay. So what we're saying is, if we have a result, set that result. Otherwise, it's not in the database. So let's go ahead over here, refresh our hash, and we get title and message. Fantastic. But now, obviously, we need to delete that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you another way of actually using our prepared statements. So I'm going to say we have a count, so we've stored that result. So because we have a count, we can go ahead and start deleting that. So statement is equal to db prepare delete from messages where hash is equal to, and then execute. Now this expects an array, so I'm just going to put an array in here and say hash. Okay, that looks right, he says. And then I'm going to say, right, deleted is equal to result, no I'm not, is equal to statement row count. So what I'm saying here is, once we've got a count, let's go ahead and delete that message, and let's set a variable of deleted if the row count from what we've just performed is obviously 1, because if it's 1, it means it's been deleted, right? And then we can say, actually, let's just see if that works. So I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to refresh our page. So ID B0609, whatever. I'm going to hit enter, and for some reason I just can't get that. Delete from messages. I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to hit refresh. Right, so I've hit refresh and I've had no errors. So I'm going to come back over to the database. I'm going to click on browse, and I can see that my my hash, my row has just disappeared. So it's obviously it's worked. It's performed the action that it needs to. But the user obviously doesn't know that. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say where are we? Here we go. I'm going to open another if. I'm going to say if deleted, if is set, sorry, is set. Why have I put a variable on that? I don't know, deleted. Then we want to do something. We want to, I don't need that. Let's just say small and then close our PHP off. Sorry, I know I'm not really saying too much right now. I'm just going to say this message has been removed from the system. Right, the reason I'm putting this in is because someone could actually just land on the on a random hash, and it would show this message has been been removed from the system. So I'm just putting an if set to say, right, has a message been deleted? If the message has been deleted, then we can then show that message to the user. We don't need to worry about this section too much, but I'll show you what I mean in a moment. So I'm going to load up our app for the very last time, hopefully. So no errors, good sign. Let's just put awesome. It works, hopefully. Right, so submit, success, your message has been successfully added to the database. View your message here. We're going to be sent off to a random hash. I'm going to come over to our database, browse. We've got a random hash here, which matches what we're about to be sent to, down in the bottom left-hand corner. Now, view. We've got the message, awesome, it works hopefully, and we've got this message has been removed from the system. Now I'm going to go back to this page, and sorry, it appears that hash is either not in the database or has already been removed. So the reason I've done that is because right now, if I remove the deleted bit, save, and just refresh this page, we'll see this message has been removed from the system. But obviously the message hasn't been removed because that message is no longer there. Like if I put a random whatever, it's the random ID associated to this message, associated to this hash, has not been removed because it never existed in the first place, which is the reason for me adding if it has been deleted here. And that's pretty much it. That's as simple as you like. You know, like I know it looks a little bit messy, but just to give it a once over, just so we're all aware of exactly what we've done. So coming back here, we've declared our variables. So we've set title and message to null. We've set errors to empty, and we've set success to false. The reason we've set these to null is because we want to be able to store our values over here. If I just echoed title and message, we'd get a warning just to say title and message hasn't been set. So we just set those to null because, as I say, we want to return that back to the user. Now this isn't the cleanest way of doing it, because obviously if we're always going to be returning it back to the actually ignore me. So that's why we've done that. We've set errors to empty because we want to store any errors that we get into this. So down here where we've got a print underscore errors, we could also handle the select or the inserts. We can say, right, throw all of our errors into this array. Just like we're doing up here, if the user doesn't submit a title or a message, we're saying, right, either of these fields are required, so make sure you fill them out. We've connected to the database, and we've also set the attribute mode to error. So just like a minute ago when I had the S missing and we sent an error message, that popped up because we had the error mode enabled. We've tried to connect to the database, and then we've caught, or we've used the catch function method to handle any errors that might come up. So if I did change this to loads of O's, we'd get a message just to say the connection has failed. We've then gone and checked if the post has been submitted and it's not empty, because it's always going to be there, because we've declared that as our values down here. You know, there's a value of nothing, but there is still a value. There is still a name called message. So we're saying is empty for intentionally, just like we're doing here. If it's not empty, so with the exclamation mark, if it's not empty, then store these values, but clean them up with HTML entities, just so users can't put any damaging code into our system. Then we've done a count on the amount of errors. So obviously, if there's no count, it means none of these errors have been set. So we can move forward because we know that title and message has been successful, so it's successfully entered. Then we create a random hash, and we store that random hash along with the title and message into our messages database, which we've set up. That's here. From there, we've stored our execute statement. So we've bound, or we use the method bind param. We bound that to our statement, and then we've executed it. But we've stored that in a variable, so we can check if it's been successful, because this returns a true or a false. If it's true, then we want to set success to true. The reason we've done that is so we can show the form down further down the line. To go back to our errors, if there's not, we won't perform the insert if there is an error. If there is an error, just return that back to the users. Now, obviously, we'll only print _r in here. This is where you would do your for each loop and return exactly what's wrong to the user. Then we've done a conditional to see if the get variable has been set. So we're looking for ID specifically. We don't want just any get variable, we want the ID. And then we're checking that hash and we're cleaning it up. And we're selecting all of the messages based off that hash. Likewise, as we're doing above, we're binding the parameters and we're executing it, fetching an associative array. And we're using fetch because there's only one item. We're doing a count on the rows, and then if there's a count, so as long as we have an item, we want to go ahead and delete that message, but we want to store these values into a title and message so we can return it back to the user. Otherwise, title and message, that message doesn't exist in the system, so we can move on. Down here, we have a large conditional around all of our content. So the first conditional is it set, and do we have an ID? If we do, then go ahead and return the title and message. And title and message is always going to be set. It's either going to be set to our message title and message, or it's going to be set to sorry, and that message doesn't appear. That's if the get variable is obviously set. So that's why we've only had to put it in the once. We've also checked if deleted has been set. So if it has been set, then we remove it from the system. Then we do the remaining part of that. So if get hasn't been set, then we just carry on and move on. So do we have a successful message? So if we have a successful message, it means something has already been inserted into the database. So show the user this message. Otherwise, we are here, and that is just as if the user has just loaded the form, and we'll just show them a title, text area, and a submit button. And that is as simple as you like. Very quick. I say very quick. I've probably rambled on for about 45 minutes now, but we've gone through quite a bit. We've done some sanitization. We've connected with PDO. We've shown potentially, is it 3 or 4 different templates based on what the user has done, all in one template. So I think we've got through quite a bit. Thanks very much for watching, guys. If you like this series, give it a thumbs up. Comment what kind of videos you want. I think I'm going to start exploring and doing a few more videos around the React and JavaScript, Webpack and Gulp. So look out for those. I'm excited to do some more videos, so you should be seeing quite a few more from me in the coming few weeks. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Sorry for rambling, and I hope you've taken something away from this. Cheers.